So today we have a very interesting guest, not only because the company participates in X-Culture for the first time and we don't know much about it yet, but also because of the product. And so the company is making toys, and I cannot think of a better product. You know, it's fun, it's important, it's a product that invests in future, I guess, through children. So I guess if I could choose who I want to be in my life, I would want to be a toy maker.
Oh,
Probably too late for me to change
great.
careers, but I don't know. I mean, it sounds very, very cool. And so today we would like to learn more about the company. So Novabrink, so it's a Brazilian company. They make toys. And so I guess we will start with a quick introduction of the company, but then students, if you have any questions, as always, you can put them in the Q&A window, or as always, you can just raise your hand and we will add you to the webinar here and we can engage in the conversation with the presenters. And so I'm going to turn it to Mr. Brandino, who is the CEO and owner of the company, right? Is that correct? So I'm not sure what your official title is, but I know you are the man at the company. So please tell us more about the company, its history and products.
Okay, I'm marketing director from Novabrink. My name is Germano Brandino, and thank you very much for your time. And it's a great pleasure to have the opportunity to share a little bit about our company with you all. I will try my best to make this presentation in English. If there's something that you may don't understand, please let us know, and I'll be pleased to answer you all. Okay? Well, Mr. Levy, that is with us, wearing a mask.
Protection is everything right now, right?
Yeah. All around the world. Don't be afraid. He's the guy that is in charge of your international business here in Novabrink. So we are together making this great project. And what is good about Mr. Levy, that he already participated from X-Culture from the other side of the desk, right? In the past.
Yes, exactly.
Could you please share a little bit with us?
Yep.
Yes, I did as a student. It was in 2019.
So it was what, 2 years ago almost now, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful.
Very good, because right now he's the person that is gonna together with you all make this process from now to where we wanna reach, that is expand our international business here in Novabrink. Mr. Taras, is it possible to share screen, right?
Yes, it should be possible. Yes, you are the co-host, so it should be possible to share the screen.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. So, Levy, you are now at the office, I see, right? So you're not from home, you are actually at work, right?
Yes, actually, I'm very near from Mr. Brandin.
So you're just in different rooms.
Yeah, it's just in different rooms, but we're very close.
And so behind you there, is that an exhibit of toys? Because it seems like you have there some, or is it just something colorful? I was just curious if those are the actual toys that you make, or it's something else.
Yes, actually, there are some toys behind me. May I take some, Mr. Brandino, to show him?
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, show us what those toys look like. I've seen some pictures, but it'd be nice to see the real thing. If it's not much trouble for you.
I really don't know how you're gonna do that, but there is our showroom. We are
you have
really
like a big,
about 10 meters, one from another. But I'm closed in my office, so I can.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so big. I thought it was right behind him. And okay, so the toys are quite
no,
big.
it's not. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't take the perspective.
He's getting some products to share with you, and I'm
so
going to share.
You are now right at the factory itself, right? So you are in the sort of production facilities.
Yeah, exactly. We're here in Bahia, in the northeast of Brazil. Where the products are made, and all factory and the main part of our employees are also here.
So those are big dolls. When I saw the pictures, I thought they are like, like this big, but they're full size.
Actually, our main business is big dolls.
Uh-huh.
And we also have what we call my size dolls. That is dolls that are actually the size of a kid.
Oh, like a real, oh, okay. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay,
For
interesting.
example, for the Disney Princess lines, so the girl can play with, for example, Elsa from Frozen. The girl can play like if it
Like a
was
real,
a friend.
oh, well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I saw the pictures,
We
but I
also,
didn't.
but we also have, for example, that is the main part of our production for dolls from 15 centimeters, 50 centimeters. Levi will share some
Maybe,
products
yeah.
since he
So
can.
connecting his sound, I believe, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not wearing it.
Okay. So we just discovered. So I saw the toys. So they're big dolls. I thought they would be much smaller. Can you show us a couple of those, Levi?
Of course.
So what do you have there? Uh-huh. So they are. So that's one of that's some sort of a superhero, or who is this?
Yes, this doll is from a character called Ladybug
Uh-huh.
from a TV series called Miraculous.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting that he brought this doll because this doll started our international sales here in Novabrink. This particular product is the one that we sold already from Mexico to France to Dubai and to Buenos Aires. So it was till now our main international case.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's a nice one.
I'll show another one.
And you have a more.
This one.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, this one is Rapunzel from Disney Princess.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. Another one. This one.
Oh, that's the YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
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 This is the first. And I brought this last one.
And that one I don't recognize. Oh, Frozen 2. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
Frozen
The
2.
styling head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so
Okay.
the girl can play with the hair of the doll.
Yeah. Now, there are many more there, but you know,
Of course. Yeah.
it's okay.
It's really a lot. Well, talking a little bit about our industry, the toy business, as Dr. Taras said before, it's a great industry to be. We work with happiness, right? And
Right.
work with more than happiness. We work with children's happiness. So it's something like a pandemic from a good pandemic, right?
Yes.
Since one kid smile, 4 or 5 people around also smiles. So it's very good to work with toys. My family is in this business for more than 70 years here in Brazil, but it's also tough, a really tough industry because it's very professional, and we have the player, such big players as Mattel, Hasbro, and Lego, some international players that, for example, here in Brazil, they play directly. So we face day by day a lot of challenges because we don't have the same resources as they have, and we have to be very creative and smart and fast so we can fight against the money they have actually, and of course the professionals they have. And
How much capital, if I can ask, so how much does capital play a role in this business? Is it a very capital intensive business, like the equipment and whatever else? Is it costly, or just anybody can join easily? Like to make toys?
no, it's not, it's expensive. The tooling is very expensive. And if you work with injection plastic products. For example, what I have here to share with you. But for example, this kind of product, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's injection. The tooling is very expensive. So for you to make sense to make this investment, you have to sell a lot. You need a lot of pieces sold so you can have the return of this investment. So we really make a lot of studies before joining any new project, because it's and besides that, we also have a situation that the seasonality is very high. So we sell a lot in the Q4, about 55 to 60% of our sales happens in the Q4. And the rest of the year, you have to pay the bills and keep the employees. It's really a challenge every year.
So how do you cope with that? So does it mean that you hire more employees before the kind of Christmas season, or do you always have the same number of employees that are just working more?
No, we have, we increase the number of employees, what we call a seasonal employee here before Q3, so we can raise our production capacity.
Mm-hmm. And one more question about the tooling, the machines. So once you have the sort of the main machine, how difficult is it to change it from making one toy or one doll to another? Is it just a matter of pressing a few buttons, or it has to be completely retooled to make a different sort of shaped toy?
The machine itself is pretty the same, but you have to change the molds. That is, in some particular cases, the same, almost the same cost as the machine. Mm-hmm. You need to change it, and you have all the setup you need to do to start a new product. So it's not easy. You need to also have people who understand, in our case, plastic. So you can change materials, change colors. It's not as easy as it seems when you get a product done.
So you cannot just make cheaply, let's say 100 examples or 100 sample dolls so that you can sell them and see if they, so you either go all in or nothing, right? So it's kind of risky.
No. I'll give you a superficial example. I can tell you that we cannot join one project considering less than 4,000 pieces.
4,000.
It's impossible.
So
in some cases, if it's injection plastic product, you need to consider more than 50,000.
Wow. So it is
depends on the kind, because we work with three kind of with plastic transformation. We work with injection, blow, and rotomolding. In any case, you have different costs of tooling, so you can do the product.
It would be very interesting someday to visit your factory and kind of see how it all works. I mean, I can only imagine how injection is different from roto tooling, like no idea, but so that would be interesting to see. All right, sorry.
All invited, please.
Yeah, maybe one day, hopefully, yes. All right.
Okay, and one thing that I'd like to share about the toy business is it's something interesting, because when you consider the toy sales all around the world during the pandemic, it was one of the industries that had increased sales during the pandemic. Okay, so it's we are a little blessed here in our industry. And
why is that? Is that because children spend more time at home and have to play more, or what's the reason?
Exactly. I think that the families try to find some how can I say that, some ways to entertain the kids during this time that they were supposed to be at school and they are at home, and in a lot of cases with a lot of stress because they can't see their friends, and they can play soccer, football with their friends. So it was a tool for the kids' development also during this tough time. So it's I think we did a good job in the pandemic to help the families with the kids part.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And a lot of games also. Games and puzzles raised a lot, and because the families also, including the adults, needed some things for them to
Do
get.
you make those as well, or you're primarily making plastic dolls, or you also make like board games and puzzles and things like that?
No, we don't work. We already worked in the past with games, with board games mainly, but today our main business is dolls, and we also have our second main line is sand buckets, beach toys, for example.
Mm-hmm.
This is our main lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Well, I will start to talk a little bit more about Novabrink. So our company started, as I told you before, we have more than 70 years expertise in manufacturing here in Brazil, toys. Today we are, for a couple of years from now, we are a top 10 company in Brazil. Actually, we reached number 8 to 2020. We are so number 8 now, considering all the players. Okay, considering Mattel, Hasbro, Lego. We have a lot of licensing partners. That is a very important part of our business because we work with characters. As we work with dolls, our main business today is to make real, bring to the real world the characters that the kids like. So we have a great partnership with Walt Disney Company, but also Marvel, Warner Brothers, Zag, that is the company that handles Miraculous Ladybug characters, and these two, SBT and Turma da Mônica, are local licensors.
Can we ask you, so students always ask me how it works with licensing in your business. So for example, let's say you decided to make a toy of some superhero from the Marvel universe. So do you pay a fixed fee per year and then make as many toys as you want, or is it per unit? And then do they have a say in what the toy looks like, or as long as you pay the license fee, you can decide on the actual design? Like what's the usual, you know, what are the details of those licensing agreements?
Great question. The usual business is you make a deal, a contract with the licensor company that you have the royalty rate per piece. And you report then monthly or in different periods, depending on the licensor, but you pay from 8 to 15%, depending on the licensor. And you need to build the product as their request. So you need to, in cases, for example, of Disney and Universal, for example, that we're going to launch some products this year from Minions movie. They also make like their own inspections here in the company to check our quality process and to check if we are attending all the laws about hiring people, if the local is okay, if you are not making anything that can damage the
reputation of the company itself, right? Yeah, the brand.
everything. They check everything. They check really everything. They check more matter for just for you to know.
Interesting, interesting. And so in the license,
It makes sense because they had to make a big quantity of points to be checked, because when things started to be manufactured in China mainly, not everything that they asked here in the Brazilian law, they asked the same in China. Now it's more close one law to another, but so they made their own points to be checked, so you can be a Disney product manufacturer, for example.
very interesting. And you said the license fee is usually per unit, and it may be somewhere between, you said 7 to 15% or something like that.
7, 8 to 15, depends on the
the final price that the unit is sold, right? Or how does it?
The wholesale price, but excluding taxes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
That's the usual international.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's one of those things that we all kind of deal with. You know, everybody who has children bought those toys, and I never knew how the actual business works. I mean, they just appear in the store, and you can get, like, we have a few Frozen toys, and then obviously, you know, all those superheroes. And so you just think that they just appear magically in the store. But yeah, I imagine there is a lot of negotiation going on sort of before it was even made. Yeah.
Believe me, it's a lot. And it's interesting because I'm telling you about the particular case of toys. So you can, this rate that I give you is when you talk about toys. But when you talk about food, when you talk about apparel, it's a whole different situation of negotiation. But it works usually per piece. Per piece. But you have to sign a minimum guarantee contract. So I tell them, I want to sell 1 million pieces of this doll. They tell me, okay, so you're gonna sign here that you will pay, selling or not, for 800,000 pieces.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Do your best to sell
and
as much as you can.
Are the contracts with the different companies very different, like Disney versus Marvel? I mean, are they all kind of charging roughly the same percentage, and the conditions are roughly the same? Or is it very different from a company to company or brand to brand?
The main parts are the same. I can tell you it's not really different from one to another. Of course, some of them have are more careful than others. Mainly when you talk about Disney and when you talk about Universal, they are very, very, very careful about the products that they put on the shelves and the companies that they allow to make their products.
Yeah, okay. And just maybe to close this question, there is a question from, this issue, question from Chris. So can you buy a license to make just about any character from any movie, or are there some restrictions here? Like I assume Disney, Marvel, DC, so I assume they probably license any character, or are there some that are off limit and cannot be made?
If it's something, it's really your decision as a company to get the licenses you want to work with. In our particular case, our main business is for boys and girls to 3 to 8 years. So it really don't make a lot of sense to us to get, for example, a contract with Walking Dead, for example.
Yeah, it makes sense, yes.
Yeah. But there is a lot of companies that really work a lot with these characters that they call the kiddos products. And some teenagers can buy, but also a 40 years old kid can buy. It raised a lot actually during the pandemic. this part of the business, but it's really not our business.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, here in Novabrink we have two brands. One of them is Brinquedos Rosita. It's the oldest one. It's actually where it started as a company for us, and since 1970. And it's more our plastic lines. As I told you before, when I say plastic lines, are sand buckets and other products that like kitchens and other products made essentially by plastic. And Baby Brink, that where we work more with products for girls, and where is our main business of dolls and also plush products, and where we work more with fabric and other parts. It's, if I can tell you something that makes one brand from another, is Rosita is more industrial. The product came already more already done from the machines. Baby Brink it has a lot of more work from the employees. It's more artisanal. How can I say that, Levi?
Handmade.
Handmade. Perfect. Handmade. So it's more the difference of the lines. But today we also have dolls in Rosita's line, because as our main part of the boys line is in Rosita, so we direct the dolls, that is not really the dolls, but the action figures and the figurines, we work more with Rosita brand. But it's everything Novabrink. Here is where we are now, in Levi. That is our factory here in Bahia, in Lauro de Freitas is the name of the city. The state is Bahia. And we also have the sales office and showroom in São Paulo. It's not here in the pictures, but here is some pictures from our machines for you to know. Mainly here in the right side, the injection machines, and on the left side, the blowing plastic machines. Here's the blowing plastic machines with the employees working.
So your raw materials, you buy those kind of granule, like plastic in little granules or whatever they're called.
Exactly.
And then I assume you also use some fabric and whatever else for the clothing. And all of that comes, is it all local components, Brazilian, or you source them all around the world?
It's mainly Brazilian, and it's interesting because our company used to be in São Paulo. We moved to Bahia about 20 years ago, because here in Bahia we have the main raw material factories here in Brazil. There is Braskem. They, including a place that they make raw material that they export all over the world. But we buy, for example, fabrics, dolls' hair. There's a lot of them we import from China, from, in some particular case, from Europe and from Korea. I mean, but I can tell you that maybe 85% of our product is made by raw material made in Brazil.
Okay.
Here is in the left picture is what I told you about how it's handmade. It's very interesting when you go to a doll factory that you can see the girls that are really artists, that making all the doll and painting the eyes and taking care of the hair. It's like a fashion salon, a complete fashion salon. So it's really
Which of the components of the production process are manual? I assume the molds, that part is probably more automated, but then the assembly is all manual, or there is still something done by the machines?
100% manual, the assembly. And in the case, for example, of rotomolding, it is made by, have you ever visited a factory with rotomolding process? It's like, I can tell you that it's like when you bake a cake, for example, you put it on a machine that the temperature is very high and it goes around and around. So
the centrifugal force to
not really the centrifugal force. The centrifugal force more to make
just so that it kind
material
of all around, right. So it's not okay.
Exactly. But it makes the raw material, and once you from the machine, you need to take it with your hand. So it's pretty manual, and it's made like this all around the world.
Can I ask you? I'm not sure if you're at liberty to disclose that information, but in your production process, what is the ratio of the labor cost versus sort of machine cost or other non-labor cost? Is it?
Oh, I don't know this information now, but I can get it and share with you.
But I assume labor is a substantial part of the total production cost.
For sure, here in Brazil, for sure, including the labor costs are very high here in Brazil. When you consider the payment that the employees receive, it's not high when you compare, it's actually low when you compare with other countries. But when you consider and how the total labor cost represents to the company, I think it's one of the highest in the world.
Interesting. Okay, good. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Here in the right is our distribution center picture. So here in Brazil, we have Imetro, that is a kind of ISO that regulates what we can do and how we can do the product. So the products that we make here in Brazil are really international class. When you talk about the quality, because what we Metro asks us as a company to reach, it's really high. It's not easy. So in some cases, Metro asks us some quality needs in the products higher than Europe, for example. And here are some success cases that we had in the past, and we are talking mainly about licenses here, and some in the last years here, just for your reference. But you have Chiquititas, Rebelde, Patati Patatá, and Carrossel, Cúmplices de Resgate, Chiquititas again. So we consider here a success case when you get more than 200,000 pieces on, okay, just for Brazil.
200,000 pieces, that's actually a lot. I mean, that's a population of a city. I mean, you know, that's a big number. So I don't know. I mean, I know Brazil is a large country and you sell internationally, but these are still huge numbers.
Yeah, Brazil more than a huge country. It's a great place when you talk about kids. It's a young country.
Yeah, it is a young country, yeah.
Yeah, so it's also good because just for your reference from Mattel, that of course Mattel, that is the main player of the world, talking about Barbie, Hot Wheels, their main market from a lot of years of always USA, and the second one for like 8 years used to be Brazil.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Be the place in the world that they sell more Barbies and they sell more Hot Wheels, small cars, and it's really a big and important market for toys.
Yeah, well, I know that we bought quite a few of those Hot Wheels. I don't even know how many of those cars we had in tracks, but also we've had a few Barbies growing up, and then obviously all the other. So yeah, I guess I'm a consumer in this case. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, so since
Yeah,
2000,
the ladybug that we just saw, didn't? Yeah, the third one.
yeah, exactly. It was a really game changer here in our company when we started to make huge volumes with international brands. So we discovered some brands that we could make here in Brazil, sell a lot in Brazil, but also export. That's what I told you about that product that Levi brought us. And we started with this product winning prizes here in Brazil, first place of product, the bestseller here in Brazil. See, it was 2016. And we won this prize every year since then to last year. And in the last year, actually 2019, we had a really huge success with this YouTuber that it was something very interesting because in this case of Ladybug, we kind of fight against the big players of the world with Mattel, Hasbro, and Bandai and other companies. We fight for the license. In some cases, we tell the licensor, look, we want to do the Miraculous Ladybug doll, for example. And they tell us, you cannot do that because Mattel already got this contract for all over the world. They're gonna put it in Brazil, okay? In this case, we got like the main product that we call the core of the license, that was the doll, and got volumes. So the licensors looked at it as an opportunity to say, wow, if we give the main line for a Brazilian company, they can make huge volumes, but also export. It was interesting because it was a changing of a way for them to think about Brazil as an opportunity of to have another place in the world, not China, also making toys.
So can I ask you about those YouTubers? One, there is a question there, do you make dolls of real characters? And so this person, that's a real person, right? So it's not a fictional person.
Yeah.
And so how did you come about making a toy of a YouTuber? Was it his idea and he approached you? Or did you think, oh, let's make, because it wouldn't even occur to me to make a toy of a YouTuber, but yet it's one of your most popular toys. Like, how does it even, the idea, where does it come from?
That's an interesting story. And this story today got me also to be part of the board of Abrao, that is how can I say that? It's the joining of all the licensors, regulation, how can I say that? It's associação.
Association, yeah, association maybe.
Yes, association, exactly. And this guy, Lucas Neto, was a YouTuber in YouTube mainly that everybody knows about, but the history of YouTuber products used to be no success at all. Nobody had success in the past with any product from YouTuber. For a lot of different reasons. And this guy was looking for one company to make his products, because as he plays like a child, that is his business, is 27 years old guy, but he plays like a child. He pretends to be a kid. And his dream was to be transformed in a toy. And he looked for the one company, and the company said, no, we don't want to make any kind of products from YouTubers. And they looked for the second company. Do you want to do that? No, we don't believe in your business. Your channel is not good enough for us to put money on it. And so they looked for us, but they were almost giving up from the project. Oh, if this third company says no, we're gonna give up and let's continue in our channel. When I got the product, when I got the deal, and I started looking at the numbers that the YouTube had with this channel, the number of views, the number of followers, I started making some comparing it with TV channels, and I discovered that this guy was having more
Audience?
Yeah, like more
audience,
yeah.
more audience than, for example, our soap opera here from Globo, that is the highest audience that we have in Brazil. But nobody was seeing that because they at that time, everybody wants to, what's going to be the next character that is going to be in Discovery Kids, in Disney Channel. And I looked at that, I said, there's really no way of this business not doing well. And I got the idea, and I came home and talked with my kids. I have 2 boys. Today I have 3, but at that time I used to have 2. And what do you think about a Lucas Neto doll? A Lucas Neto figure? They told, oh my God, it's a great idea. I'd love to play with that. They told their friends in the school, I think my father is gonna make the Lucas Neto doll. And they go, Father, in my class, I already have 30 kids that want the doll. When are you gonna launch that? It was interesting. So I got back to the licensor and I said, I want that. And we are gonna win Product of the Year.
Yeah, but this is also a very, very interesting story. So you say that others didn't see the potential. So what it tells me that it's not such an easy business to sort of to predict what's going to be successful. It's like with Harry Potter, several publishers didn't want to publish the book, but then when it was finally published, it became a global bestseller. But you know, it turns out that it's not so easy to foresee that, right? Isn't it? So
exactly, because in this business, you need to look a lot for the trends. And it's interesting because everybody here in Brazil look a lot for the international trends. They look a lot, oh, what happened in USA last year? Let's bring this idea to Brazil. And I stopped making that, and I looked at the trend that the internet brought us. Oh my God, YouTube is the new TV channel.
yeah, my kids watch YouTube, and we don't even have the cable anymore. So we just, you know, Netflix, Hulu, HBO. So one thing also I would note, it's not related to business, but I can only imagine how cool it is to be your child. Like imagine if that toy, my dad made it, or my dad is going to roll it out. I mean, that's like, you know, like a superhero status in school probably that your kids have. So I don't know. It's
well, I can tell you that it's not as excited as it was to be my father's kid, because when I was 9 years old, 8 to 9 years old, I brought my father one draw that I made of a ninja set. At that time, ninja was something that nobody heard about it in Brazil. And I said, Father, you got to make products for ninja set and with swords and shurikens. And he said, what is ninja? Ninja, look at the ninjas. And he found it was funny. And he brought to his partners at that time, oh, look, Germano made a draw. He developed a product from a ninja set. And one of the partners that he used to have at that time, he told, look, I saw a movie of ninjas. It was American Ninja One, the movie, I remember. And
I've seen that.
it seems like it's gonna be a trend of it. And they oh, okay, let's do that. And they launched it in the toy fair here in Brazil, and they sold in that year. It was a lot of years ago, more than 30 years ago. They sold 500,000 pieces in 2 one ninja set.
So being a child of a toy maker, you can actually come up with toys and your dad will make you, and then the whole country will play with them. So that's
exactly. And that's the idea that I had. Oh, I want to talk with my kids now. If it's so, the really owners of the company today are my kids.
There is this movie with Tom Hanks called, I believe, Big, right? So when
Big, yeah.
Big becomes a doll, and so he actually comes up with all those ideas for toys, and all of a sudden
exactly.
they're, you know, kids know better what they want to play with. So yeah.
This one of the this movie was one of the one that I liked the most in my childhood, and it was interesting because we really showed the world. We are audited by NPD here in Brazil. As they make it in 13 countries. And in the same year, in October, we made a trip to Hong Kong, in China, where we really meet all the toy factories in the world. And the guys from other countries, oh, you're guys from Novabrink, how it was to make products from the YouTubers. It was huge, the numbers that you made with only in Brazil. It was 1 million pieces in 8 months. It was, I think, the most successful case in the whole industry here in Brazil when you compare only a period of time. And it was crazy, and everybody knew about that. And this year, a lot of companies, and mainly American companies that look a lot for the trends, they started also looking at the YouTubers from all over the world that they can launch products. It was funny because they use it our case to also build their strategy for the new mode that the kids consume entertainment, right?
And as one of the students here, Chris, is pointing out, so it seems to be a symbiotic kind of relationship. So the YouTuber then has an incentive to promote those toys. So you sort of get a lot of promotion from the, you know, the guy after whom the toy is made. And so here sort of it's a win-win. So he gets something, you get something. So it seems like a very interesting situation here.
You say the YouTuber.
Yeah, the YouTube. I imagine, I don't know, I haven't watched his videos, but I assume he probably tried to sell those toys as well, right? So because
this was really what changed the game here for us, because in the past, the companies that made products with the YouTubers, they didn't get the results that they was searching for because they couldn't make the promotion. They couldn't make TV advertising because it really makes no sense when you got a YouTuber and put a TV commercial in Disney Channel.
Exactly.
To tell kids about the product. And that was what I told Lucas Neto. Lucas, the only way for the boys and girls to know about your product is you to share it in your TV, in your YouTube channel. But you need to do that as natural as possible. It's not really a TV advertising, really, not sales. And he made it very well, and the results came.
Now I wonder, so my kids used to watch, there is this show called SciShow in the United States. Well, I guess it's global. And they have a channel, SciShow Kids. And in SciShow Kids, they have this character Squeaks. It's like an electronic mouse. And so I wonder if anyone thought about making a toy of Squeaks from the SciShow Kids YouTube channel. And they have millions and millions of views. I mean, it's one of the most popular science channels for kids, at least in the United States. So I don't know, I'm not sure if they are big internationally, but they definitely get millions of views in the United States. So that could be a cool toy. So it's like a robot mouse, but it's only painted, so they don't have an actual physical toy. So I think it'd be nice to have one of those toys. And, you know, it's a little too late for my kids, but we used to be watching them pretty much every weekend. So, I mean, every evening. So I don't know, maybe that's something for you to think about, like if you want to make Squeaks out of.
For sure, kids would love to have this product, Taras, because it's what they are seeing every day, and it's happening the same with the games. The games product.
Yeah, video games, I can only imagine. Yeah, so
it's incredible. The gamers today, the streamers, the people who play games and share in the stream.
That guy
as another.
PewDiePie, I believe his name. I mean, he has like 2 billion followers or something, like a huge number. The PewDiePie, the Swedish guy or somewhere from Scandinavian countries, the one who plays video. I mean, he was at some point the most popular YouTuber in the world. And so I don't know. I mean, I suppose maybe people would want to have a toy of him. So yeah,
it's incredible for the kids. They are the new Cristiano Ronaldos and
exactly.
the new.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
I wonder if
incredible.
you thought about making toys. I mean, so is it only a Brazilian thing, or now you see toys of YouTubers all around the world? I'm just
all
curious.
around the world.
Oh, so
It started this year. I had the opportunity to see an online version of the toy shows this year in the last month actually, and a lot of new products from YouTubers.
Yeah, Ramesh here says that Ram says, and I think he refers to, I think it's PewDiePie is the name. So he has over 100 million subscribers. And so I know when my kids watch it, like I always was, why would you want to watch someone play video games? And they say, oh, you don't understand, you know, like first he talks about all kinds of other things. Second, he plays very well. And literally like the guy just plays video games and millions of people are watching him. So go figure. But yeah, I guess I'm too old to understand.
I made the same question to my kids. Why you spend your day watching a guy playing a video game when you can play a video game? Stop doing that. Play it yourself. And my kids answered me, very clever they are. Daddy, you stop to see a lot of men playing soccer at the same time.
What I wanted to say, yeah. So men watch soccer.
It's the same, man.
Go play.
Oh, but they are professionals. They are playing in soccer. They are professional another level. It's exactly the same.
But that part is outdated. The professional video gamers, they actually now like the esports now make more money than the real sports.
A lot.
Yeah, somebody saying here, Manuel is also saying that there is this G-Ref, I guess you pronounce, Spanish YouTuber. So he broke the record with live streaming. So 2.7 million people were watching him play. So, you know, Fortnite skin. So yeah, I don't know how many people watch TV, but I assume not that many when you talk about like children's channels. So I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting world.
I know that in Italy also, they had a case like that in the past year. And for sure, in Spanish language, a lot of streamers and YouTubers. And it's interesting that now there is a trend of Russian YouTubers for kids that they are making translation of the language of their channels.
Yeah.
Here in Brazil,
this Russian, Masha and the Bear, right? So originally it was in Russian. Now they have the English version. And I saw the statistics somewhere. They actually make a lot of money. So
a lot.
Yeah.
The Russians are very, very good content creators today. It's interesting.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Just such an interesting business.
No, please.
I would have thought that making toys could be such an innovative industry. I thought you just basically make the mold, but it's changing the game in so many different ways. Yeah.
It's a lot. And I saw a presentation from NPD Group last week, and it was the first time that they really showed the consequence of the as Netflix in toy sales at Netflix and Disney Plus, for example. And it's also huge. Just for you to know, when a movie is launched in the theaters, okay, it has one let's X times this audience. When it comes the same movie, when it comes to Netflix, for example, when you talk about kids, it gets 9 times more the audience. It's incredible.
Interesting, yeah. Well, as I said, it's one of those fascinating industries that we all consume products of, but don't really know kind of what kind of thinking and strategy goes into making them and promoting them. We just sort of, take it for granted. Toys are always in the stores, but I mean, it seems like it's a very complicated business to be in, even though it seems so simple.
And our only the only thing that we are sure that it's gonna change in 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So we don't know what
the strategy is gonna be completely the same. It changed a lot. And well, and this was our using the same case that we made 2 years ago. We had last year also the product of the year here in Brazil with Gineto, that is also from the Lucas Neto characters family. But we also had another great success that was Maria Clara. That when you compare the same time, this two products were on shelf. Actually, Maria Clara was huger than Gineto. So it's something that we tested and it's working very well. And what's happening is these two contents now they are translating to Spanish, first of all, and after that they're gonna translate it to English. And one of them, I don't remember which one of them, is also going to translate to Russian. And it's interesting because, for example, Portugal, we have a lot of people looking for us to get Lucas Neto products because the quality of the content that Lucas Neto is doing in Brazil, that is so popular here in YouTube channel, is really, really high quality content when you compare to the other YouTubers. The main YouTuber in the world, a toy reviewer, I don't know but if you know him, but he was a great success and a great case, was Ryan, an 10 years old boy and American boy, and his content used to be very, very, very poor when you talk about the quality of the content. And now I think he made a partnership with Nickelodeon, and they are putting some money to raise the quality. And it's interesting because in some years ago, when you used to look at the content and you used to look at, wow, it's 3D, and they look at how beautiful is the quality of the 3D when the character moves. It came a little with Toy Story, right? Yeah. And since then, we look at, oh, it's high quality, it's gonna be great. But when it came Peppa, we saw, look at Peppa Pig. It's drawn like a kid's draw, and it was a great success. So, yeah. Wow, kids are not looking at the kind of the design, looking at really the core of the content. And after that, with the YouTubers, it happened the same thing. So, oh, it's not a high quality content, but the kids get involved because it seems like they get more attracted at this formula. It's more like that.
But you're absolutely right that the quality has dramatically improved. And in many cases, when I see some of those YouTubers on YouTube, the quality is even better than what you would see on TV. And so I'm not sure if that's just the technologies have advanced or there are so many who are trying, some of them just are bound to be good. but YouTube content now is actually not poor, or for some it may be poor, but many channels are very, very, like, it's, you know, like that's the quality that you would expect from a major TV station. And so,
Yeah, exactly.
not to mention that so many interesting ideas, so many new approaches, like TV could never experiment in so many different ways. And here you have thousands and thousands of people sort of trying, and some of them turn out to be very successful.
Exactly.
Very, yeah.
Exactly. Well, so as I already told you, the social media advertisement and the marketing strategy is really based in the social media with this kind of products that we are selling today, and is really about the character and their fans base to share it with their community of followers. Here is some pictures of our toy fair here in Brazil. We have a booth here in Brazil. This is the third main toy fair in the world nowadays. Of course, not happened last year, this year yet because of the pandemic, but it's supposed to happen in the Q3. Let's wait for that. And here are some retail partners that we have in Brazil. Some of them are international, for example, Carrefour and Walmart, and other companies, Sonai, for example. And we also have some partnerships with international companies, such as USA, Silverleaf from Hong Kong, Arias from Spain.
Very interesting.
And here is a little bit of the POS presence that we have here. If you take a look at our products in the stores, they are really high quality products when you compare. Consider that we share the same space in the store with toys from Mattel, from Hasbro, that they sell all over the world, and we really have success today. So it's a need. It's not a choice. It's a need to make products with the same quality that they have.
Can I ask you, do you have any data on whether or not the consumers, the customers care who made the toy? Like, for example, let's say I'm buying a doll of some superhero from, you know, the Marvel universe. So I care about the toy and the brand, but do people ever look at who actually made that toy? Like, do they care if it's Mattel or Novabrink, or they usually don't really look at it?
I can tell you that in the past here in Brazil, it used to be a huge part of the decision. The company that made the product, and it was an international reality, okay? Now, today, the people just care for the character. Oh, I want a product for Frozen 2 movie. I want a product from Lucas Neto. They really don't know even if Barbie is made from Mattel or not.
Exactly.
They know that it's from Barbie. Some people think that Barbie is the name of the company.
Exactly, they think that it's the company that makes it.
Including the biggest players, as Mattel or Hasbro, they don't share, they don't communicate a lot to the customers that about Mattel or Hasbro. They want to communicate about Nerf, about Play-Doh, about Barbie, and it's a little bit.
So is it making your business easier or harder, the fact that people don't really care who the maker is as long as they get the character? Like, is it something that creates a problem for you, or it's an opportunity, or?
It used to be in the past when it changed the business, because to be made in Brazil used to be a good thing when products started coming from China, because it was like products made in Brazil, the quality was here, and products made from China, the quality was here. But what happened in the years was products made from China, the quality came here, right? Mm-hmm. Like the same happened in the past with made in Japan, right?
Exactly. Yeah, used to be everybody
low quality products, and and it's the same movement.
Or
And
South Korean, yeah. I still remember the time when people were making fun of South Korean cars, and now Hyundai, Kia actually are pretty good cars. Yeah. So yeah.
exactly. Such as the Chinese cars today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, it doesn't make a difference for our business. But it maybe after the pandemic, it maybe makes sense for other countries in the world to say it's not Chinese made product. Maybe, okay?
Yep, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll see how this whole situation will affect it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it, Mr. Carlos. That's our quick presentation. I have a lot of information to share since you
a few more questions. So we are over time, but a couple more questions. One, can you comment on the phenomenon of the American doll or American Girl dolls, if you know them? So there is this company in the United States called the American Girl. And so they sell dolls just like the ones you showed, but they have their own stores. And in the stores, they create this whole, like, you know, like almost their entire world. Like my daughter goes there like to a museum or to a, you know, like a play date. And so they're extremely expensive. So we have a couple of those.
You need to sell your car to my son.
Like $150 one. I don't even remember, but I remember it was more expensive than my, you know, like literally like than my bicycle. And so I don't know why they're so expensive, but they're immensely popular. And I think because they have those stores and they have this kind of physical space where children can also go and play. So is that a new thing or just one company? And I mean, did you ever consider maybe creating your own stores for the kids, or it's too complicated? Just curious if you have any comments on that format.
We already tried in the past to have our own. It was a little different, the case, because it used to be a store-in-store project, but with our brand. And it was interesting because it was a doll that you can actually make with your image. So you take your daughter's picture to the store. Here is my daughter. Her name is Anna, for example, and she's blonde and she likes this character, for example, and we used to make the doll exactly as the daughter and with her name, with her picture in the, it was a great project. And in particular case of American Girl, it was a really, really great success and a really marketing case mainly because, as you said, it's not the cost of the product, but as they made the marketing of the strategy that it was the great. And the interesting thing is that, you know, who is the company that is the owner of American Girl? It's Mattel.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was
nobody knows.
Oh, I thought it was a self-standing company, and I was kind of curious who came up with that idea. I know it's extremely expensive, so because my daughter, you know, made us buy a few of those toys, and when I thought, you know, like, oh, a doll, maybe, I don't know, $30, maybe $40 if it's more expensive. And then I don't remember what it was, but it was like in hundreds. I'm like, whoa, like for a doll, like what's the point? And then she says, oh, can I also buy a new outfit for her, or like a bicycle, like toy bicycle? And I thought a toy bicycle, like another $5. No, that toy bicycle was more expensive than my real bicycle. So I'm like what's the, you know, but enough people, you go to that store, there are always, you know, literally hundreds of people there. So I don't know, it seems to be something that they do right. But I didn't know that it's the toy maker who owns them. So I thought it was like a self-standing company. Yeah.
And it was interesting because when you, for example, get a American Girl store, always a big line in the front of the store. People trying to get in and getting crazy with the new new bicycle that just launched. And this was a great success case. And there's after that another company came with our generation that it was the same, exactly the same case, the same products, but with a lower price point. And they got, for example, a lot of success here in Latin America, but with the same, not in their own stores. They put it the same strategy, store in store, as I told you, we already made in the past. So it was great, but it's not really the kind of thing that we are looking for. We are looking for more for high quantity products.
Yes.
So we can also get the strength of the character in that country. For example, for this international expansion movement that we are doing now, it only started now because 3 years ago, we looked at our portfolio and wow, we have a few products that we can sell that make sense, the character all over the world. It used to be only Miraculous Ladybug. So we, for example, searched for to get Disney license. So we can get, we know that Disney Princess and Frozen and Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are characters that they all around the world they make sense, such as an action figure from Batman, for example, from Minions. So today our portfolio, so our total portfolio are made for more from products that make sense, the characters make sense all over the world. That's why we are searching for this kind of business.
If I may, one last question. So who does the advertisement then? So let's say, for example, we have, I don't know, like a Disney character. So would Disney do most of the advertisement? Would you as the maker do advertisement, or would it be the stores, the retailers who sell? Because it seems like all three parties are interested in sales, but I'm just curious who ends up doing the actual paying for the ads.
That's interesting. When we talk about a license as Disney, and where we also have the highest royalty rates that we have, we are already considering all the movement also and all the investment that Disney makes with the consumers, but with the retailers and everything. You don't really need to go to a kid and say, here is the Frozen doll. Kids already know that they're gonna find it on the stores. So from our side, the only investment that we do when we talk about a toy from a licensor as Disney, as Marvel, for example, is to make a good exhibition in the store. Because we know since the girl watch the Frozen movie or watch the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Mickey Clubhouse in the Disney Plus, they will ask mother or go to the store and ask for that specific character. And they already make a lot of investment, so the consumer, so the consumer knows about the character and really understand that there is a product related to that character in the stores.
Fascinating. Well, so we don't want to take too much of your time. So let's stop here for the students. It seems like it will be a very popular company. So I will not be surprised if it will get the most students this semester. It's a fascinating business. So for the students, if you have any other questions, or you probably will have more questions as you work on the challenge, as always, send them to admin@xculture.org. So we usually don't share the email address of the company representatives. They're very busy and obviously cannot deal with hundreds of questions that you will be sending. But what we do is we create a database of frequently asked questions, and most of the time the questions are repetitive, in which case we just copy and paste the answer from the database. But if it's a new question, one that we cannot answer, then we forward it to the company, and then we will ask for more information. And yep, so let's see what the students come up with. It's an interesting industry and students can relate to it. So I'm hoping that there will be many good new ideas. And at the very least, the students will learn something in the process, but I hope they will also bring new solutions, maybe new business leads, maybe new business model ideas. So we'll see how things go. So thank you so much. I will be honest, I kind of envy you a little bit because you're in a much more, cool and fun industry than I am, but, interesting. So, and hopefully after the pandemic is over, maybe we'll do the Xculture Symposium in Brazil one year and then maybe even visit your production facilities and see it, firsthand. Thank you so much, ladies, for keeping us in touch. And thank you very much for your time, Mr. Brandino. And yeah, let's see how things go. Wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Taras. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity. Hope we can make great projects together.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.